Huge thanks to Auto Navigator from Capital One for sponsoring this video. Hey, you guys remember when I was completely carless? My Mustang got hit by a truck, my Integra engine was being swapped, and my Nissan 240SX had motor issues. While all this was going on, I actually had a really cool opportunity. Even though I felt a little down on my car luck, my good friend Josh drove all the way from Alabama to come hang out, and we were gonna head to Caffeine Octane in Atlanta, Georgia. We were headed to the event for a meet and greet at the Auto Navigator Lounge from Capital One, and I could not wait. Hey guys, good morning. You know what's awesome? Being carless. And this is Josh. I think we're okay. Let me use the force. If you have never opened an NSX, the handle is up here.
This is a hard drive with a ton of Japanese music on it.
Oh really? Like all Eurobeat? Or
it's got show tunes and like theme songs.
Anyway, you guys might remember Josh here. It's 6 in the morning. We have to be at Caffeine Octane, which is Atlanta's version of Cars and Coffee. It has 18,000 people every single month, and I gotta be there. Oh yeah, in your kilometers. For a second I was like, we're not going that fast, there's no way. Every single time I ride right-hand drive, it feels so weird, because this is your normal position. Last time, me and Josh were in a car together, in a video, we drove your R32 Skyline, which is completely different now from last time.
Yes.
The last video topic we did together was that owning an R32 Skyline in America kind of changes your life a little bit. Perception-wise, people come up to you a lot more, and you make a lot more people's days without having to buy a giant exotic car. By Josh now having an NSX, he just did the exact same thing, but with a different crowd. And would you say so? I mean, the Honda community and all that, of course, freaks out. But at the same time, you have people come up to you saying, oh my God, nice Ferrari, probably. And they have no clue what this thing is.
Following my buddy around in his FDRX7, and he was going through Starbucks drive-thru, and the girl working the window, she's like, yeah, I saw a white Ferrari earlier today. And my buddy's like, hey, that car back there? And she goes, oh yeah, that's it. And he's like, that's a Honda.
But they don't know.
No.
They don't know. Isn't it funny though how people always just associate a long, low sports car, they don't know what it is, so they just throw on Ferrari with it. Out of all the supercar-ish cars there are, this is easily one of the most comfortable. I spent days inside Rob Ferretti's NSX, which is pretty high mileage, and this is pretty low mileage. And there's
7,000 miles?
And they don't feel that different, which is pretty significant. But the gearing in this is a little bit shorter than the USDM one, right?
Correct. I get nods from Corvette people all the time because of the pop-up headlights.
Do they give you the nod?
They give me the nod
with the 12 on the wheel. They're like, hey, you want to go buy some New Balances together? You were saying that you're kind of going down your list of cars you've always wanted to have, of like, we call it the Infinity Gauntlet, the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet of JDM cars. By the way, PSA, straight pipe NSXs don't sound good.
No. Variable vanes in the intake manifold, so down low they're closed and it makes that sort of resonance, but once you go full throttle they open up and you actually get that sort of unique sound you were talking about that only the NSX 90-degree V6 has.
The funny thing is though, is even though this is an exotic car in my eyes, just for the looks, for the most part.
Yeah.
For the average Joe, they think this is an exotic car.
Yeah.
To us, we're like mid-tier, bro. You know, it's like that midline between a normal sports car and the supercar. But you still get the notorious thing where people come up to you and ask you how much you paid for it. You know, at the gas pump, going, how much you paid for that, man? Oh, okay. No, so the thing about the NSX though is, I think the saying is for you and I and a lot of people is, if it had 100 more horsepower, this thing would be so insane in every way. But the thing is, in order to do a build, in a build especially, it's atrociously out of the question nowadays. Maybe 10 years ago.
10 years ago, the support was still there. People were still making the ITBs. Now you have to find a dusty set sitting on a shelf. And when I fell in love with these cars in high school, I was like 3.5 liter stroker, Toyota cams, ITBs, 400 wheel horsepower NA Screamer.
Right.
And now that's a $25,000 or $30,000 investment just to build the engine.
Just to build a motor, because the motor itself is so rare. The motor and drivetrain go for $11,000.
Yeah, roughly. In good running condition, you can sell the powertrain for about 11. I will say though, you can do all the 60,000 mile maintenance with the engine in the car. So that's timing belt, valve adjustments, lost motion assemblies, water pump, all that.
This car just feels so buttoned up for how quote unquote old it is. And my favorite thing to do with the NSX to normal non-car people is say, what year do you think that thing is?
Yeah.
And they always go like 2004, and it's not even the fixed headlight version, which you could argue with. Do you see yourself with this car as a forever car?
Definitely. With the chassis being aluminum, and I can't do body work. I kind of suck at it.
Right.
But the whole chassis is aluminum. It's never gonna rust out. You change the rubber components, and that's it. It's number 2 on my list. And since I've owned it for 2 months, I can safely say it's been bumped up to number 1.
Really?
Skyline. For one thing, we got these cars in the States. Parts are available. Alternator, oil filters.
Yeah, you can get all of that.
All that stuff.
You're good to go.
With the Skyline, people see it and they're like, okay, I've been there, seen that. But with this thing, they want to talk to you. They want to check it out, and they want to ask how much it is. And I just say money, and they say
money.
how much.
Yeah.
And I just say, they ask how much, I say yes.
Well, yes, but the funny thing is though, like we said earlier, you can find a cheap NSX that's falling apart for like 15 to 20. And that's really rare. Don't quote me on that too much. But then you'll see one at Barrett Jackson go for over 100. And you're just like, I don't know what to do with my hands, because the Mark IV Supra, all these JDM legends are going through the same thing right now. Okay, so we're almost to Caffeine Octane. Thank you for giving me a ride. And let's check out the show. It's gonna be really awesome. Even though I didn't have a car, riding in Josh's NSX definitely was not too shabby. I was just so excited to go to Caffeine Octane and head to the meet and greet at the Auto Navigator Lounge from Capital One. Speaking of, huge thanks to Auto Navigator from Capital One for sponsoring this video. Auto Navigator from Capital One was developed to add transparency to the car buying process. And it also gives you the ability to be pre-qualified in just minutes. You can see if you pre-qualify with no impact to your credit score. You can find and finance the car you want all in one place. The inventory is nearly 4 million cars and almost 13,000 dealerships. Auto Navigator from Capital One can be found on their website or an iOS app. You can literally scan a car and find cars of that make and model for sale near you, and then after you get pre-qualified, you can see financing. So I just want to give a huge thanks once again to Auto Navigator from Capital One. And Apple users, make sure to download the Auto Navigator app and check it out for yourself and visit the website. Now let's take a look around Caffeine and Octane. Behind me is the easy joke. This is the new Z4, which you could easily say is the new Supra. Underneath, I actually had the privilege to drive the new Supra, and thankfully it was a pleasant surprise, so I have no idea how this car would feel in comparison since they were developed completely separate from each other. So, who knows? Ironically, we ran into a brand spanking new NSX, and it was really interesting to get a really good look at it. I personally have driven the new NSX, and in my opinion, it was a pleasant surprise. I just don't know if the price point is right for the NSX. Plus, we had many more people going over to Josh's NSX rather than the brand new one. Maybe the new NSX just doesn't capture the imagination as much as the old one. Either way, both cars are freaking fantastic. Everything is chrome in the future.
Is this live?
It's live. We're doing it live. So I want to thank Josh so much for driving me here today when I was carless. Today here at Capital One, they did an amazing job. I just wanted to give a huge thanks to Capital One's Auto Navigator, which is a super cool tool you can use that you can literally scan over a car and then in minutes get pre-qualified for that very car you're staring at. So it was a perfect time to test it here at Caffeine Octane, and we had an amazing time. What'd y'all think? Woo! All right, huge thanks to Capital One, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy. Goodbye.